So apparently, I think Mark Gurman was the first to report in Bloomberg, saying that Apple is further delaying the new Siri 2.0. We were supposed to get some sprinkle of it with 26.4, but now it's being pushed again. And that is the situation with Siri 2.0.
Yeah. So 26.4, that we were all excited about that because 26.3 just dropped. And I mean, I'm not the only person to parrot this little catchphrase, but the reason why 26.3 was so exciting was because that meant that 26.4 was right around the corner. Because 26.3, I mean, it just came out, was it yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
Doesn't have a ton of new features. We talked about it last week briefly, but like I think the biggest feature was like an Android feature to transfer to Android, like to migrate your stuff over to an Android phone if you wanted to move that way. So
if you wanted to move in that direction.
Yeah, if you wanted to move in that direction.
If you want to walk that walk.
Yeah, not sure I advise it, but yeah, if you decide to do that, then that's your prerogative. But that it
Have
was
you ever actually tested that?
I have not. I don't own an Android
Me
phone.
either.
I don't own a single Android phone. You do though.
Not a single one. Not even like an old one.
No.
Interesting.
No.
I do. I have one.
Yeah, but it's not a Pixel, right?
It's not a Pixel. It's a Fold 7. And then I gave it to my dad because he wanted to play with it. The Nothing Phone 2. I had that one for a while. But those are the only phones that I had with Android on them.
I will say that Nothing does make some interesting stuff. Like at least their stuff is interesting, right? Like
it's cool to look at.
Yeah, I'm not an Android fan, but like I had their headphones for a sponsor thing, and I actually really liked them. I mean, they were interesting. Put it that way.
Even though it was a sponsored video, I do think it was a very underrated video. It hasn't gotten the views that it deserves. I thought the video was fire.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was fun. Like I don't usually have fun making sponsored content. Not all the time. I mean, sometimes the products are good. Sometimes it feels like a job, to be honest. Yeah. But with those, it felt fun. Like I was enjoying it. Like if every sponsored video is like this, man, I'd be doing really good. So
I mean, and the cinematography in that one was good. If you guys haven't seen that one, and you're just interested, I recommend going to see that video.
Appreciate it.
You know.
So they, I mean. It isn't a surprise that Apple is delaying the new Siri features to an extent. Now, as far as how much they're delaying or what is actually going to ship in 26.4, it seems like it's going to be fairly minimal at this point. But my thinking is that, what does this tell us about Apple? Like, if they delay this, which they never have come out and said, 26.4 is going to be the new Siri.
In their defense, they haven't said that.
Fair enough to Apple. Like, we can't sit here and say y'all delayed a feature when it was never announced, right? Even though it was announced 2 years ago.
It's been announced.
Yeah, you know? It was announced, but since they said they were still working on it, they haven't come out and said, all right, 26.4 is what you should expect the new features to come. So just to make that clear.
That hasn't come from Apple, but there's been a lot of inklings that it was going to be the case. And then I really thought that the Gemini Apple announcement, or I guess little tweet or whatever they were doing, was going to be the key. I thought that was going to be like, all right, now we're going to get the ball rolling here. Like Apple's got something going on. And I'm sure that partnership has started prior to that announcement. So that's why I thought like, all right, 26.4, we'll get a little taste of what's going to come. And then 26.5 will be the big kind of, what we've been wanting Siri to be, or Siri 2, or what Apple promised Siri 2.0 would be. Because I don't know what people want out of Siri at this point anymore. But again, it's delayed. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what kind of version of Siri we're going to get with 26.4. And again, in Apple's defense, it's like they haven't promised anything, or at least they haven't like given us a timeline of what's going on. It's just kind of like very vague and ambiguous, and like Siri's going to, be a big change. But then another big thing that made me think it was coming was Tim Cook during the earnings call saying that like the products that are releasing are stuff that we've never seen before, or something like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They were just adding oil to or gas to the fire, really getting me excited, and then boom, it's all delayed.
They were talking about the new AirTag too, obviously.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like, so here's the quote from Mark Gurman. He says, after planning to include the new capabilities in iOS 26.4, an operating system update slated for March, Apple is now working to spread them out over future versions, according to people familiar with the matter. That would mean possibly postponing at least some features until. I like how he uses at least twice. That would mean possibly postponing at least some features until at least iOS 26.5 due in May and iOS 27, which comes out in September. So
that's some real journalism gymnastics right there.
Yeah. So, we know Mark Gurman is well connected. So this definitely is legitimate, but it's like we still don't have a great idea as to what to expect in 26.4, whether or not any of the features will be there, or if it's just like the groundwork being laid. We'll see stuff in the code in the back end when we explore the code, but are we going to see any user-facing features?
I mean, and the feeling that I'm getting with Siri, even though it's obviously different, it's a little bit of the sentiment that I used to get with iPadOS. It's kind of like I want something, I want it to do something different, I want it to be more useful. I just don't really know what that looks like practically.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's you articulated that extremely well, because that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't think anyone really knows what to expect from this whole thing. Like, I don't think there's any. Like, here's one quote he has, says, one feature especially likely to slip, the expanded ability for Siri to tap into personal data. That technology will let users ask the assistant to say, search old text messages to locate a podcast shared by a friend and immediately play it. So that is something that won't be coming in 26.4 for sure. And likely that's going to be delayed until iOS 27. So,
which, I mean, I'm also trying to put myself in the position of, I guess you just have to dive into it. Like, once it does come out and it exists, like, you eventually find usefulness out of it. But I'm trying to find myself, I think to myself, like, what would I want Siri to do that would really kind of help me out, right? And a lot of that stuff, it's like, it really goes against what Apple has always preached, which is like data privacy. Like, these things need to ingest a ton of your data to be useful, right? Like, that's the whole double-sided sword of this thing. The reason like the ChatGPTs and the Geminis and all those are like such great chatbots is because they have all your data, they learn from it, they continue to take in data, and Apple has never really allowed for that. So I think that's at least part of the reason why things are just getting delayed. I feel like Apple's trying to figure out their way of doing it while keeping privacy a big kind of selling point of Apple. Because I mean, that Apple like lock animation is burned into my memory, you know?
Yeah, I think, I mean, with their implementation and their partnership with Google, I don't think for a second they are not putting privacy at the forefront of this. And that's just probably what is making this process a little arduous. It'll take so long, and just trying to figure out all the moving parts and where there could possibly be data leaks and where there could possibly be privacy issues that occur. Because this is a whole different undertaking. It's so much different than on-device processing, like private cloud compute, and that area with the way Apple was approaching this whole situation. But now they're partnering with an outside company, Google, who is not known for being privacy advocates, to say the least. So it's probably going to take a lot. I'm trying to put myself, I guess what I'm saying is trying to put myself in Apple's shoes on two different levels. Number one, the privacy aspect. That is something that's big with Apple. But number two, and perhaps more importantly, Apple knows they have to get this right. Like, they cannot ship. They cannot ship, even in beta, because we know betas are basically public releases at this point. Everyone talks about them. It's not like some private thing where it's a private beta. Even the developer beta, it's going to get out there quickly, whether or not this thing is a stinker or not, right? And they know they have to get this right. They cannot allow the ball to drop again. So to me,
they're on the hot seat. They're on the hot seat.
Absolutely.
For a sports reference.
Absolutely. So it's a ton of pressure. And that, I mean, it's easy to understand why they would delay this. If it's not working perfectly, or at least mostly perfectly.
Yeah.
Then, and it apparently isn't, right?
I mean, Apple's no stranger at also doing the delayed thing, but they've never, this is the first time in covering Apple where they've promised a product or a software feature and it's just like it's still not out yet. Apple's always been known to delay like adding USB-C, going Pro Motion, adding more than one camera to the rear. Like they're always late to that game, right? But this is the first time where, yes, they're still continuing to be late and they're following like the Apple way, but they promised us early something that just isn't out yet.
Well, right? There's precedent for this, though, I will say.
Ooh, tell me.
2 words.
Wait, what is it?
2 words. Starts with air, ends with power.
That's true. Okay, I forgot about air power, which is crazy how they weren't able to figure that one out, of all things. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see why. Like, it's got to be a combination of the privacy features not playing well with whatever they're doing in the back end, and then it's just not working as well as they want it to. Otherwise, it would have been released. If it's not perfect and it's not the Apple way, and if it's not actually useful, like Apple's just not going to release it yet. And I'm trying to continue to give them a silver lining or a little bit of benefit of the doubt. But again, my gut reaction to it being delayed again was just disappointment. But diving into it more, I guess you kind of understand it. But like you said, Apple just needs to get this right this time around. Because again, another thing that they've never done is like they sold this is the hardest part for me to understand. Like they sold the iPhone 16 to consumers. They sold a physical product to consumers with the promise that it was going to do something like for that phone. And now we're a year and a half into the iPhone 16 and still nothing.
And like famously, or I guess the usual upgrade cycle is every 2 years, right? Like for a new phone. For, I'd say a lot of people, not everybody, obviously. Smart people probably wait 4 or 5 years. But like 2-year upgrade cycles are fairly common. So we're coming up on the 2-year upgrade cycle for a phone that never got the features that it was sold to have.
God, it's giving me. I think I said this in the last podcast, but it's giving me the Tesla vibe, the whole like promise you full self driving in the 2018 Model 3, but you got to pay $5,000 to upgrade your hardware now because it doesn't work on that car. You know what I mean? Like, which is a slippery slope. You know, so hopefully Apple learns and then they do give us something that wows us. And like you said, they got to get it right, man.
Yeah, they have to get it right. Like, and that's the thing. It's like this thing is going to be dissected on a level that I don't think any beta has been dissected. Like it. So when 26.4 comes out, when it comes with the Gemini features, that is going to be a huge story. It's going to be, how is this performing? Like, what is it? Even in beta 1 stage, like, it's not fair. It's not fair to judge a beta because it's not out. It's not public, but they will be judged for it, period.
100%. People are going to be testing it, putting it through its paces, comparing it to everybody else and all the other ones. And yeah, let's see how it goes, man. I don't know. I'm hesitant to be excited about it now, which is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I was so excited. Like 26.4 is like, but yeah. So, I mean, that's not to say that there won't be new features in 26.4 related to this. But I just think the expectations are being tempered quite a bit. So,
and then the final thing I want to mention about this, I am so curious how Apple's going to reframe this new Siri at WWDC this year. Because they got to say something about it. They didn't mention it at all, basically, in the last year's, 2025's WWDC. You know, it was all liquid glass, all iPadOS, all, you know, they went back to the normal Apple, which I kind of liked. But they're going to have to bring it up this time around. And I'm very curious what their messaging is going to be and how they're going to, like, try to keep everybody happy and excited for it, even though it was supposed to come out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
PR nightmare, in my opinion.
Interesting.
That's why they pay the PR people the big bucks, you know?
Interesting times. Like I'm looking forward to see. Like, and so apparently this new iOS 26.4 is going to be released. Is it February 23rd? Is that the date?
The public or the beta?
The beta.
Yeah, the beta should be at the end of this month.
Okay.
And then the 26.4 should come out like end of March, something like that, they said.
Right. And then we'll have 26.5 after that. Okay. Yeah. Want to be interesting. So what else we got?
Do we know what features we're getting or no?
I don't think so.
Right,
I think this pretty much throws it all up in the air. Like we don't know.
Yeah,
I think, I know we're definitely not getting the one Siri tapping into personal data, at least according to Mark Herman. We're not getting that. Will we get some of the other things? We don't know.
Who knows?
At this point, I don't think anyone knows for sure. We'll just have to wait and see what 26.4 brings at the end of the month.
So, I mean, to kind of segue into something still Apple Intelligence related, I've seen these like rumors going around, and I think Ryan wrote about it on the site about the AirPods Pro 3 getting a new version with some sort of camera on it, or cameras on the buds themselves. And I don't know if they're like normal cameras or if they're IR cameras or sensors or something like that. But I'm just curious to know what you think in terms of why Apple would add that to headphones, especially like the earbud version, right? Is it kind of like a play against the Meta glasses of the world? Like, is it to be a little bit more assistant heavy to help you out and be visually aware? But I'm just curious to know what it would look like, how they can do it, what the benefit of it is going to be, if it's going to look wonky, you know? I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on AirPods Pro 3s with cameras attached to them somehow.
I mean, I mean, it kind of takes me back to Tim Cook's comment. Like, we're going to see things that we've never. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but basically, new types of technology. Could this be part of that strategy? Like, my first thought when I heard cameras was like IR, like just basically for the fit of your, in your ears. I was thinking more of that direction.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like that's because, I mean, I'm seeing this tweet. I don't know if it's actually legitimate or not. But yeah, it says it says infrared cameras, but it says next AirPods Pro can see around you at the same price. That's apparently some leaker, but we don't know his track record. But what does that mean by see around you? Because there's different types of sight. There's infrared sight where like my IR blaster is, I mean, there's line of sight there, but it's not really a camera in your traditional sense that you would think about on like a meta level, right? So I don't think they're going that direction. I think it's more so, I would think it would be more so about fit and acoustics, like improving the acoustic qualities. I don't see the AirPods becoming a
meta competitor.
Yeah, I mean, even though they did add the is it the heart rate sensor?
Yeah, they got a heart rate sensor.
Yeah, so there are some technologies that don't relate directly to audio. Like that's one of them. So who knows? But I would think of it more so as something to improve the existing capabilities of the AirPods more so than a new feature. Like I would see them adding a camera to the Apple Watch before like a actual camera to the AirPods, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, I think I never really thought about it like that in terms of improving acoustics, because it does say, I think we wrote that the next AirPods Pro may include cameras for new sensing features. Again, that could mean anything. That could mean like the internal acoustics of your ear, but it could be like adding a new sense to the AirPods, like vision, right? So I don't know if it's like a spatial computing play or if like they just wanted to make it, again, compete with Meta to be a little bit more aware, because again, Apple has perfected that earbud form factor. Like the AirPods Pro alone are like I don't know, I've seen like, what is the stat? Like it's a top 25 or a Forbes 25 top company. If you just only look at the AirPods Pro, that's how popular and how many people have these things. I mean, you can't walk around New York City without everybody having their AirPods in. It's crazy. So I mean, adding like a new way of interactivity with the AirPods could make them useful, right? If Siri 2.0 gets attached to them, if it can be visually aware and help you out to see what's around you, it could be like the new form of do you remember the augmented reality stuff that Yelp did, like back in the iPhone 3 and 4, where you would like point your camera at like the city street and then like restaurants would pop up on your phone?
I think so, yeah.
I remember that back in the day being so cool. I'm like, what? How does it know that it's there? Same idea, but now 20 years later, and hopefully more useful.
Yeah, my big takeaway from this is that the people who bought AirPods Pro 3 are going to be not super happy if these launch soon.
I am one of those people.
So I did not buy AirPods Pro 3. I still have my trusty 2s right here. As you know, this is a trend, apparently. I didn't upgrade the phone. I didn't upgrade my AirPods. Yeah, so...
I mean, there's no real reason to. I mainly got it because I was curious about the heart sensor stuff.
Well, that makes sense because you're active like that to a degree that I'm not. So,
yeah. I mean, this cold winter season has had me real sedentary.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I do not want to go outside. It does make 35 degrees feel warm though, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, let's see if the AirPods Pro actually make a change. But it is curious, like why usually the Pro release cycles every 3 to 4 years, right? I think it is, and then just upgrade it like 9 months down the line. Seems interesting. Or maybe it's just gonna be a new category where it's like, you know, you have AirPods 4 with ANC, you have AirPods 4 with wireless charging case, you know, a bunch of different. You keep going. AirPods Pro 2 with MagSafe.
Oh.
And it'll just keep going down the line.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I will say I adore these things. Like, they're the best product, one of the best products Apple's ever shipped, period. Full stop.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, ever
I agree.
shipped. I use these more than probably anything else, probably more than my iPhone, actually. Like, as far as day-to-day interaction, like, I'm using these more than any other Apple product, period.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that like just keeps them in during the day.
Yeah, I am one of those weirdos. I am. You know? I am one of those. Yeah, I don't take them. All right. So, do you wear AirPods to the grocery store? I'm not that person.
If I'm alone, yeah.
Really?
If I go alone, yeah.
I can't do that, man. I can't do that. I just, to me, it's like screams, "Don't talk to me." And
well, let me give you a little bit of context here.
Well, you are in NYC. You are in New York. So
and when you're in a house, it's just constantly, there's noise constantly.
I get it.
And you just go to the grocery store for half an hour, 45 minutes, you know, and it's like your therapy. You walk around the aisles, you see what you're gonna get. You got your podcast in or some music or something. Yeah. And then I only keep one in, so I still interact with people, you know? Still say hello every now and then. But yeah, I'm one of those people. But I was gonna say one more thing about the AirPods Pro that yeah, I don't know. I dropped it.
I derailed
Maybe
you.
it'll come back to me. Yeah. But AirPods Pro 3 with cameras. Let us know if you guys think that's something that you would want and what kind of cameras we would even see.
Yeah. I still want my camera from my Apple Watch, man. Every time I go to like for a run, like, because there's a park over here that's just beautiful, especially right now it's not very beautiful, but like during the spring and fall, it's just gorgeous landscape. And I'm like, I want to take a picture of this, but then I don't have my phone with me. And I'm just like, I really wish the Apple Watch had a camera version.
Interesting.
But yeah, I know I've talked about that before, but anyway.
Do you think it would fit better on the Apple Watch itself, or do you think it'd be like an Apple Watch band? Because I've seen accessories. There aren't too many, but there's like 1 or 2 companies that had made that before. Like a camera built into the strap. I'd never tested it or seen how it works. But that definitely exists.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I would take either one at this point. Like, to me, it's just, it's almost like I feel sometimes compelled to take my phone because I want to take a picture of, and I don't know why I want to take a picture. I just do. I just want to take a picture for me. And I mean, just for my memories. Yeah. And it would be nice to be able to do that without your phone, because you can do, I mean, like we discussed before, you can do pretty much everything else from your Apple Watch except for that. Like, that's the one thing you cannot do. You can make phone calls, you can listen to music, you can browse the web, you can text, et cetera, but you can't do that.
And then you could get what's it called? The Meta Oakleys, where they got the camera right in the nose. Have you seen those?
I have not. It's right in the nose.
It's like right here, right in the center, and then the big Oakley, like, you know, the Oakley frames would come in those crazy vibrant colors. I think they're very tailored to like snowboarders and skiers.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the walking around with cameras on your face thing. I'm not a fan.
Me either. But they're gonna be in our ears soon, so we gotta get used to it. All right. I mean, what else we had this week? Aside, we had 26.3, the delay, some rumors, and then I think the last thing that I wanted to bring up is it looks like Apple. There have been rumors of that new like lower tier MacBook coming out, like a brand new product category, but Ryan was mentioning that there's a whole new slew of just like affordable hardware products that Apple's creating, which I think is a net positive. But my fear with that is that they're going to be making their money with subscriptions on those products. like a cheaper MacBook. We already have the iPhone 17e that's coming out, I think, later this year. The iPad is already $299, the entry-level iPad on Amazon. So I think Apple's trying to complete that ecosystem with just like cheap products that they can sell to anybody and then upsell them on the things that they're using, which I guess is a normal formula nowadays.
Yeah. I don't know. I think having more accessible hardware is always a good thing. Like, that's one of the great things about the Mac Mini. I mean, I think Micro Center had it on sale for like $400 the other day. I was seeing it everywhere. And it's like, that is the best deal in tech at this point. Like, as capable as the Mac Mini is, it is one of the best, absolute best deals out there. Like, the AirPods are
a year and a half old now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's coming up on a refresh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
still fantastic.
Yeah, so I think, like, if you can get hardware in that range, that cheap, more power to them. If you can get a cheap MacBook Pro, a $500 MacBook Pro, $600, or not MacBook Pro, but a $500 MacBook, $600 MacBook, hey, I think it's a great thing.
I mean, you're still using an M1 Pro MacBook Pro, or at least you were up until really recently?
I am still using the M1, this M1 Max right here.
Okay.
And that one's the M4 Pro. Yeah. Okay. But the M1 Max is still, to me, in a lot of ways, this one actually performs better than that one because this one has 32 gigabytes of memory. Well, that one has 24. So, yeah, I mean, it's still a beast to this day. No complaints.
Yeah, that's the thing with these M-powered like laptops and computers. They just last forever. Like, I know people who are still using the OG, the 2020 MacBook Air, the M1 MacBook Air.
Yeah.
Where they had the old design and still works perfectly, especially if you're just using it as like a Slack and email machine and, viewing some content and even editing, dude. It can still edit, which is crazy.
Yeah.
If you really need to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're not going to have all your settings up, but for
it'll
basic,
get the job done.
Yeah, it'll get the job done. Well, while we're on the topic of Mac, we could maybe briefly, because macOS 26.3 came out yesterday. There was a post by Chance, I believe, where he mentioned that 26.3 fixes a couple of annoying design issues. One of those, I believe, was the issue with the corner radius and resizing windows and things like that. But that post was updated to say that Apple has updated its release notes again. The company now says that macOS 26.3 does not fix the window resizing bug. Instead, it once again is listed as a known issue. And that just got me thinking about all the outcry we've heard recently from prominent bloggers like John Gruber about macOS Tahoe and how terrible it is design-wise. And I've never articulated that, but I 100% agree. It is an absolute terrible, like, there's so many. I have complained about the fact that Launchpad's gone, right? And
you have complained about that, yeah.
And
I mean, I don't like it either.
It's not that Launchpad is gone or that Launchpad was that great of a feature to begin with. It's that the thing that replaces it is so much worse. That's the problem. It's like you'll install an application and it just doesn't appear.
It disappears.
It just doesn't appear in the little applications launcher. Like, there's no, like, you'll look through a list and there's just not there. And that happens.
It's like forced me into more, which is not like a bad thing, but it's forced me into Spotlight search heavy. I now use Spotlight search way more than I used to, just to find the application that I want to use.
Yeah.
And also iPadOS 26 like makes you also use Spotlight to pull up your apps in windowed mode and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Apple's just like really wanting you to start using Spotlight so it can like learn how you search things and help you in that aspect. I don't know, but Spotlight is something that I used to not really use. Now I use all the time. But
it goes back to the lead designer, like Alan Dye, who departed for Meta, which was widely reported on. He left for Meta. He principal designer of these changes, right? And the whole liquid glass thing that's on his dime is on his watch. And while I don't hate liquid glass, I don't really think it brought anything to the table that was better or that improved the experience.
It was like a cool marketing campaign, and I think it's kind of cool, I guess, in general. My initial reaction, I remember, was like, oh, it looks like fancier, maybe a little bit more expensive, if you can even think of that way for software. But it did nothing functionally. If anything, it made readability for a lot of people worse. In the very beginning.
Yes, absolutely. Like, and not only that, but like there's design elements of macOS that's completely preposterous. Like, number one, and this has been talked about on like ATP, I believe, or I think John Gruber talked about it on the talk show, but having the icons in the menu bar next to every single menu item, or at least the majority of them, to me, it just feels cluttered more so than anything else. And then there's this issue that I keep encountering where I think it asks for input. Like there's a spot where you can like rename a file. Like if I'm using Finder I think it's renaming files or something to do with like actually inputting a new name. It's not apparent where you can actually type. On like the liquid glass makes it so that it's just like a window where there's no, like you'll have the name there, but there's no like, it's not like it's obvious you'll click there to rename it, right? It's like, it's all like
the lack of layering like messes you up.
There's zero layering. Like, and that's like, it's on a fundamental part. It's like renaming a file on that part of it. So it's like, dude, that is a total usability problem. And I've encountered stuff like that quite often with macOS Tahoe. I guess I just didn't want to articulate it, I guess, or because no one was really talking about it to this degree, but now everyone's talking about it. And now I feel like puts the battery in your back a little bit to where you can feel like you could talk about it. But man, it is a disaster. I will say that. And I don't use that lightly because I'm a huge Mac fan, and it is.
But it's true. I agree. It's true.
Usability wise, it's definitely a downgrade. Definitely.
Yeah. Like it might look a little nicer maybe in some aspects, but usability wise, it is kind of crazy. And even something as simple as like, I don't even know why they did this. Like adding the widgets to macOS. Like obviously I'm using macOS a little bit more. I kind of want to give you guys my experience in the next episode. But like adding the widgets that are kind of opaque, that are like, you can't really see them because I'm usually always in full screen mode. And then Control Center just looks crazy because you can add stuff into Control Center from the Control Center, like to add new ones, but then you can drag them into the menu bar on the top. But some of them work, some of them don't. You know what I mean? It's
an absolute. It is just unbelievable that this has been. And I hate to keep quoting John Gruber, but it was like it was vandalized. It was like macOS was vandalized, and I just, after listening to that episode, I feel like it articulated everything I was thinking, but didn't really know how to express totally. But like you mentioned it, the widgets. All right, so here's one thing. And this isn't with Tahoe specifically, but it's in the recent editions of macOS, where when you first install macOS, you click the desktop, and it like shows your desktop. Is that the feature? Like it.
Oh yeah, and it like fans everything out. Dude, I hate that.
That is the worst feature I have ever seen in my life, dude. I turned it off immediately.
I think they did it. I think they did it because of iPadOS or vice versa. Because like when you now with the floating windows on iPadOS, if you swipe up, it also fans out everything, so you have view of your apps on your home screen, right? And then you open the app, and then it fans back in with that new app that's opened. But I don't know why they did that to macOS.
Click wallpaper. Go. Sorry.
I don't know. It's just like no. It's just like a weird thing. I press it sometimes I'll go to like click on something on my desktop, like an icon, and I miss it by accident, and then all my things fan away, and I'm like, God, here we go. You know?
Yeah, that feature is called Click Wallpaper to show desktop. Click Wallpaper to move windows out of the way, revealing your desktop items and widgets. Why? Why would I want to like? I don't want to click my desktop. I want to click my desktop because I want to get like. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that's never made sense to me. That's not a Tahoe change necessarily. That came in, I don't think it's
the year before.
Sequoia.
It's not that old, though.
Yeah, it's not that old. But it's a couple of editions old, and it is one of the first things I recommend turning off. Like even on like macOS video, that's like one of the very first things. Outside of increasing your mouse tracking speed, that is like one of the very first features. that I recommend turning off. And then the widgets, the implementation, like even okay, all right. So I'm going to stop going on this tangent here, but I just have to say this. So when you go to edit controls on a like even that whole system, it just feels un-Mac like. Like when you go to edit the control center controls, and that menu comes up, or when you're editing widgets, like when you go to edit widgets, that whole thing, it just
pops up from the bottom, and the way that you add them is weird. And then also, since it is kind of like tied to your iPhone, it shows widgets that are available on your iPhone. But if your iPhone isn't around it, the widget just turns black. And it's like a black space on your Mac, right? Because it could only work with your iPhone next to it. So it's like, I don't know. They're trying to like mesh, like the control center in macOS is the iPad control center. I don't know why they brought it to macOS. It's weird. They should have just kept the normal control panel if they wanted to keep the control center, the normal things, and not add all this different variety. I mean, normally options are good for the end consumer, but sometimes it's option overload and it's like useless at that point. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
Go and find what you need. So I don't know. They're trying to like mesh all the OSs together, and they're all looking more and more closely the same. But it's kind of they're like ruining each other. I feel like we're going very negative on Apple, but we're just ranting at this point. You know what I mean? It's just,
but it's deserved.
Apple
though.
needs to figure it out.
It's deserved. Like this is not some arbitrary argument. Like it is, like using Tahoe and using even Sequoia. There is a marked difference in usability, marked difference, hands down. Like, and I'm not somebody who just is like, I'm not pedantic and just looking for little flaws and think I can let stuff go. I can let stuff go, but it's like this is it's just a avalanche of little bitty flaws that have added up into this just frustration. It's just frustrating to use. It's not bad. Like I could still get my work done, but it's just frustrating overall. And to me, I feel the same way about iPadOS. I'm gonna be honest with you. To me, it's worse. It's worse. System? It's worse than it was. Like I appreciate having the windowing, but the implementation is not very good. It's not very well thought out. I thought the implementation of what they had before was better, and that this could
Stage Manager stuff.
Even that,
even before that,
even
Stage Manager I thought was weird.
I don't like that. I thought slide over and split view
or whatever. Yeah,
they were elegantly implemented. Like you may not have agreed with the fact that you were limited to that, but at least it gave you some sense of organization. Now I feel like I feel like I feel like my grandmother using Windows for the first time. Like that's how I feel like am I just that like out of touch? Maybe I am. That could be it. Am I just that out of touch?
No, and I agree. Like the windowing system, while it was very cool to finally get, it felt like a finally moment, especially for me as an iPad user. But it's very inconsistent in the day-to-day actions and how you actually need to pull up a window. It's like I said, you swipe up, all the windows go away, and then you got to pull another one. But there's a limit to the amount of windows you can get. I think it's like 12, and then you can kind of, when you go into multitasking mode, you have like your windows over here and your expose mode, and then you have your single windows next to it in this like multitasking mode that you swipe through. And the way that you open apps is different every single time that you open them. So the consistency of the UI of iPadOS 26 is something that throws you off a lot of the time, and it's like a turnoff to use it in that mode.
I could not see myself as someone who is not, who's not super familiar with just the idea of using an iPad, just period. Like, there's no way they would be able to figure this out. There's no way.
Like, if you weren't an iPad first user for the last like 6 years and dealing with the nuance and annoyances of all that, this new update to iPadOS 26 is a huge negative to the average iPad user. The average iPad user just wants to use their iPad like an iPad. iPadOS 26, the windowing mode, is so confusing for a lot of people, and I understand that. For me, it's just cool because it's like, oh, I can finally open more than 3 apps at the same time in my workflow. But outside of that niche, which is just like me and Ryan, shout out Ryan, it doesn't really work that way. You know what I mean? Like, people don't use their iPads this way. They use it, in single, maybe 2 apps at the same time.
Yeah, it's just any sense of structure. It's just, you feel like it's just thrown out the window. Like I don't know. I literally don't know what I'm going to encounter every time I unlock my iPad. I just have no idea what kind of finger gymnastics I'm going to have to pull off to make something appear. Like just the most basic stuff. It is super frustrating. Like where it wasn't that way before.
And also the way that because there's still iPad and iPhone apps, right? Trying to be a macOS window. So you have the 3 dots, the traffic light stops to manage those windows. It's in the way of hamburger menus of iPad apps. So like with ChatGPT, when I'm trying to open up like my side view, I can't, when I'm in windowed mode, I can't press it because the traffic light management buttons are there. So I have to full screen it and then press the hamburger menu and then shrink it again.
And
so
then
it's like a lack of cohesion there.
And then there's apps that you can't resize. I don't know. Am I just tripping? Like, are there apps that you cannot resize? I've recently encountered an app. I can't remember what it was, but I was trying to resize it and I just couldn't.
Every app will at least be able to shrink itself to like have other apps around it. But like, for instance, I'm using the Monitor Plus app to see what's going on the camera. It can only shrink to a certain, like it can't go any smaller. Same with the Blackmagic camera app. It won't go any smaller.
Maybe this app just wasn't updated. Okay, yeah. I don't know.
But no, there are some apps have limitations to how small you can make that application, for sure.
I just feel like
I don't know, iPad tangent there.
Yeah, I just feel like it's like they just got tired of people complaining about iPad OS. They're like, all right, just forget it. Just get it all. And
I do think it was a way to like hide the Apple Intelligence stuff at WWDC. It was like, here, let's give them this stuff that people have been wanting for forever, supposedly. This is a lot easier to give them than to talk about why Apple Intelligence isn't around yet.
Possibly. Like at this point, anything. And I always reiterate that I understand that there are real people working on these problems and that this is not a personal attack on anybody, but it's just like the cohesion of like anyone who's using this stuff can tell that it isn't cohesive. Yeah. Like that's the problem. It's not a personal thing. It's not Apple like bashing. But these are constructive critiques. Like I want to be able to use iPadOS. I mean I don't use any other computing platform but Apple devices. So same. I don't want this to come across as some negative rant. It's not, but it's just calling it is for what it is. Like this is a problem, and I feel like
you, Apple. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love you. I don't love you, but like, I mean, you help me get my work done. But yeah. I don't know, man.
Here's to hoping that we get something with 26.4. Apple maybe turns it around magically, and Siri 2.0 is everything that we didn't know we wanted, and you know what I mean? And let's see how it moves forward. Again, the delay is a little disappointing, but it's not surprising.
I think it's a positive thing though. Like I think it's a positive thing because they know they have to get this right. They don't want to ship something that's half baked and that is going to be that's just not going to be good. So to me, I'd rather them wait and get it right than to ship some half baked product just to say that they shipped.
I agree.
So
yeah, because imagine all the variables they got to deal with. And like, I think I mentioned in the last episode, my final thought is like Samsung had something that worked in this way with like app intent and cross app actions and action models. But I feel like it was very siloed into very specific use cases. Like it was cool when it worked, but there was like maybe a handful of things that worked well. And I'm sure Apple just wants it to be open. You can do whatever you want, but there's a lot of variables to account for in so many different directions, so they have to make sure that it works correctly. And last thing you want is for this to break down in the middle of something important happening. Like what if it breaks down while it's entering your credit card information for booking a flight at one point, and then it books you the wrong I'm sure there's so many different things that they got to think about. So again, hopefully they're doing it for the right reason, and they're delaying it so that it is as perfect as it can be for the time.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my final thought.
All
There's
right.
something blinking on my camera. It's still recording, but something's blinking.
Okay, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you again for watching. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts and our YouTube channel. And if you have questions or comments, leave them down below, and we will read them and respond.
We always read them.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.